Call meeting to order. Welcome to the March 5th meeting of the Lee Select Board. First order of business are minutes, the open session minutes of February 20th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 minutes as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, public comment. Kathy?
Thank you. Kathy Hall, the Lee Youth Commission. The ice rink is finally closed and taken down. A huge thank you to the DPW, the Lee Fire Department, Bill Hall, Josh Bloom, and Mike Klein for taking care of the rink, and a huge thank you to the skaters for being patient with the opening and closing of the rink. Here's hoping for better conditions for next season. The next second Saturday event is this Saturday, March 9th, from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. There will be Kids versus Kids Family Feud at the Crossway Tower Gym on High Street. This is a free event open to all Berkshire children ages 6 to 12. Kids versus Kids Family Feud is a live action version of the Family Feud game show. To participate, advance registration is required. Contact Youth Commission at lee.ma.us. And news from the Lee Library, Lauren Lazaroff is the new youth service librarian at the library. The new programs include Story Time with Lauren on Wednesdays 10:30 to 11:30. Drag Story Hour was today, Tuesday, March 5th, 3:30 to 4:30. Tales and Tales, Read to Dixie, the service dog, Saturday, March 16th, 10:30 to 11:30. Sensational Stories, Creative Movement for Children, Saturday, March 23rd, 10:30 to 11:15 a.m. This is an ongoing monthly event, March through November. Registration is required. You can call the library at 243-0385. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Kathy.
And also just to expand on something Kathy said, we also want to make sure that we thank the Congregational Church for allowing us to utilize the park for this attempted skating rink.
Thank you.
No problem. But just I don't want anybody to feel slighted, but it's really nice of them to let us use the park that way. So that was great. Thank you.
Do we have any more public comment? Hearing none. We'll get to general business. First order of business, Berkshire Regional Transit Authority bus stop discussion.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
I'll sit here.
So we sent along the letter that we had received. You asked us to speak to the proprietor. We did, sent along that letter. And he suggested an alternative site, which is going to take 5 spaces instead of 1. You'd get 2 back if we were to relocate. So I guess we did print out and pulled some basic information you can pass along.
Sure.
For you.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much.
Just some ridership. Unfortunately, I only have 3 copies.
That's fine.
Well, yeah.
I'll give mine to as part of the record if you're okay with disagreeing.
So the ridership goes 2022 through an estimate for 24 by fiscal year, July 1, June 30th. And then on the right, you've got a 3-year average for the stops. The entire community of Lee started out with 17,622 riders. We're estimating this year, we've got 6 months worth of data. We assume we'll have continued ridership, then we will be at over 30,000. So in a short few years, we've increased ridership. The downtown has waffled between 3,800 to about 3,600 if it continues this year. But the average for the 3 years for the downtown stop, which would be the mobile station, Railroad Street, and here, you're about 15% of that average. Not bad for 3 little spots. And then it breaks it down further, the ridership in the Route 2 bus and the Route 21, which is at Premium Outlets, and then the 21 Express also. And so there we have some numbers to the impact of having a visible bus stop in a place where the general public will know that this is where I would stand if I wanted to take the bus. And I guess the next step is, what is the next step?
So, to be clear, you currently stop at the mobile station.
Yep.
And what other existing stops currently are in place?
Railroad Street
Just Railroad Street, okay. And you're looking to
Main
expand
Street.
and Main Street.
Main Street?
Going north.
Going north,
Yep.
Railroad is by the back end of Hyde Place?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
okay. And you're looking to expand to another location on Main Street, possibly the library.
Well, that was what the proposal came back from the proprietor.
Yeah.
That said I didn't want to give up the one space in front of his place, but he suggested that.
Is the location on Railroad Street, would that be still, would you still utilize that, or that would go away?
That would go away.
That would go away, yeah.
And I heard through the grapevine that there's going to be some construction there in the next year or so.
Potentially.
Potentially, not fully certain yet, but.
Okay, so we would be ahead of that curve and not have to relocate eventually. And the added part of us going down Railroad Street and then turning right to Main Street during the summer, and that's a hard turn to make. As far as with traffic, and then
So the two, we've gotten 2 letters from, as far as the spots go on the south end of Main Street. We've gotten a letter from Kelly Funeral Home.
and we just got that today.
And we received a letter from Xavier's
Yep.
also, and they are opposed to stops in those areas, tying up those spaces all day long.
Yep.
So the 2 new options that we're being asked to consider are in front of the library, which would be presumably going north, and then almost across the street, another spot there in front of there's a commercial block there.
Yeah, the elderly housing Hyde
there.
Place
Hyde
there.
Place,
Hyde
right,
Place, yeah.
at the front door of Hyde Place instead of the back.
And so would the mobile station, the mobile stop go away with this new orientation?
Depends if you would like that, yeah, it's all, if I might. The other complication is the authority is a flag stop service. So technically, by the books, the bus can stop anywhere on Main Street as long as the passenger flags it down. Long-term, that's not a good practice.
That's the current setup right now?
Absolutely, yeah.
So by formalizing these bus stops, would we,
You could, yes.
yeah,
You could say we'll only stop in this designated spot of the downtown.
no more flagging?
Pittsfield is the same, North Adams has designated spots.
Great Barrington Main Street.
Great Barrington, Main Street,
Stockton Main Street, same deal.
so a lot of the main streets that
Yep.
they have designated as these are the only places the bus will stop.
So I'm not sure that the alternative one is gonna work with what we're looking at. I mean, we kind of discussed this previously. Are we gonna talk more about alternative 2? Because it is interesting to have the bus stops there, but we lose more parking as a town. So I think that that's something that we should weigh, correct? And what would become of this, if we were to move the bus stops up to Main Street, what would become of this current northbound stop, right?
You could just,
Yeah.
you could just replace the 2 parking spaces down here and be net zero on this side of the street. It's the same space.
I don't want to interrupt you, Sean.
No, I'm just thinking out loud.
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
So what's the, logistically for you folks, what's the problem with keeping this bus stop on the northbound side? But hanging a southbound, like in front of Hyde Place on Main Street?
From a passenger's perspective, yeah, you always want to get off on one side of the street and see the stop on the other side of the street.
Okay.
If we think, I don't know if we've been to any other larger transit system where
Yeah,
you don't have to find the other bus stop essentially, you know. It's also Mass DOT convention, but that's how they're located.
it seemed to me that years ago, we actually had a bus stop right next to Franklin Street. At the first 2 spaces, I thought, wasn't that a bus stop right there?
Not sure about, there was in front of, well, the old McClellan's.
Yeah, but I'm talking about going north.
Yeah, I
I
don't
thought there was
recall,
one,
yeah.
because I remember the first couple spaces there, which you can now parking, you didn't used to be able to park there. Do you guys remember that at all? I mean, you've been around a while, I know you've been around a while.
That's slightly north of the library though, isn't it? That's,
No, it's south of the library. In other words, right at Franklin Street, the first, there's a little curved area where you can't park anyway, and then there was 2 spots. And I actually thought that at one point, that was a bus stop. Now, I'm not saying to do that again. I'm saying I thought that that was at one time, which at least would be semi across the street if we took the, I noticed on your, I've gone through all this and looked at it, and then if you're coming south and you pull over across from the library, it looked like it would be a proposal of getting by the bump out and then taking maybe 3 spots right there
it would
at
have
the
to be,
most.
yeah, so it has to be 10 feet from the crosswalk and the
Yeah.
crosswalk has to be behind the vehicle.
Yes, and that's what it would happen. If you're going southbound, you'd be,
I got you.
you'd be beyond it, and then you'd take up basically 3 spaces.
So 60 feet, yep.
But it's in front of a residence and then Hyde Place, which probably you get people at the Araldi building now coming out to use your bus, I would assume.
Yep, they walk up the back.
I would assume similar ridership numbers would be there.
Sure.
So I was just trying to figure out the configuration. I know you say we're losing 5, but we're really just shifting 2 and gaining, and then taking up 3, and then not using 1 in front of the Araldi building. Which I think you'd have the same riders if you were in front of the Hyde building as you would if you were across from them on Railroad Street, I would guess.
After speaking to Mr. Zagan, it was actually a good
Yeah.
idea that he
Yeah.
had with, because Hyde Place is basically the back door versus the front door.
Exactly, well, that's what I was
Yeah.
getting to, is
Yeah,
like,
that's my
it's kind of a
thinking, yeah.
wash.
Yeah.
That's a wash.
The issue is if you don't want to continue with the 2 right outside our door, basically, and shift it up. But if we took the 2 immediately next to Franklin Street, I mean, there's almost no distance between the 2. They're not immediately across from each other, but they're within like 4 parking spaces of each other. I didn't know if that would be a consideration, if the BRTA would be interested in looking at that as a possibility.
Salmon, like in front of the Salmon Run restaurant?
Basically, just up from Salmon Run.
Yep.
That's where
You'd be on the
Franklin's-
north side of Franklin Street,
That's
you're
correct.
talking, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you would actually go past the Salmon Run, past,
Yeah.
if you're coming north, past, and you'd be there.
In front of Burt Park, or the Memorial Park.
Yeah.
And it just takes 2 there.
You'd still be in front of
There's
the,
that, in front of the Memorial Park.
you're still,
Yeah, see that.
Just a crosswalk.
So here's the new wing of the library, and they were saying these 2,
Oh,
because of the.
after the driveway.
You only have to use these.
That's fine.
you're still on the
That's-
same block
that's
in front of the
absolutely fine.
So
library.
it's
Yeah,
probably,
if that was
yeah,
agreed,
so it might
that's-
And actually-
directly across.
Yeah, and as Chris just pointed out, probably the other proposal of staying just after the driveway to the library, going northbound,
Sure.
would probably be better than down near Franklin Street that I was talking about. And it's more directly across from
Right.
the one at Hyde Place. I mean,
We also
and
have
again, we're
some-
not taking it away from any businesses downtown, because we're having enough trouble with
Sure.
And the
Parking for our people.
library has
Has its own
parking spot, so.
These
Plus-
two could become like 15-minute parking or something.
Sure.
Right here.
Sure.
Ironically, it still has a 2-hour parking sign up.
Oh, I'm sure. So don't let your bus idle there. So that's the key.
No more than 2 hours.
So, yeah, no more than 2 hours. So, I mean, I would be more in favor of that. And then it would also, what about sheltering? I know that you do put up bus shelters in certain places. Not that I want to suggest that your riders would stand on the front porch of Hyde Place, because it's closed. But that is one of the concerns I heard from one of the past owners of one of the locations on Main Street, was that people would come into their business if it was raining and leave their bags and then go get a coffee and come back. It's like,
Sure.
do you foresee the need or the possibility, and I'm not worried about this, but do you think that that would be something that would be good for your ridership? How do you see that?
Passenger amenities are always
Always good.
good.
Yep.
So
Okay, all right.
we don't want to go and say, we want to put a bus shelter, because
I get that.
we'd rather go with a sign and see where it is. But if we know that that's where it's going to be, we're in the process of doing inventory. How many do we need to replace? And if we were to reorder and possibly get a couple more. We try to work with the community that we put them in. We'd have to have Dig Safe come by. If the
Yeah,
town were to put
right.
the slab up, we'd come over and install the shelter.
You did it recently, Kurt Barrington.
Yeah, great
Okay, I
guy,
don't
too.
wanna
It's the
interrupt.
most recent ones that are, the style that we have.
Okay. It seems like that a shelter might be easily done on the library side.
Yeah.
Terrain-wise, you probably aren't gonna work out well on the other side of the road, but they could always
Yeah.
wait and then cross the crosswalk, I assume.
There's also smaller options for
Oh, okay.
cover. It doesn't have to be like a large 10-foot shelter. They have
Okay.
smaller options as well.
Okay.
If that was
Well,
the
that would-
desire, we could find a structure.
Be more than willing to talk to you about that part.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that at least that option of those two spots would create the across from each other that you're looking for. Get it back onto Main Street. I mean, it seems to me like that would be, if they want to look at that logistically, it seems like that would be a good choice.
Is this something, I mean, we seem to be closer to some sort of consensus than we have in the past. Is this something you want to take another look at, or did you want us to consider this evening?
I would,
You guys.
if you could consider it this evening, that would be great. That way we could make plans, and with the whole sign posting, I believe it was said that in my letter that we have to get an approval to do that, if you wanted to do that. And I apologize, I thought we had that conversation here, but apparently it was in the hallway afterwards, saying
It could be.
we can, most likely that was where
Yeah.
it was, that we can set up a lawn sign to say proposed bus stop, get some feedback information, and that way the general public would get an idea of what to expect.
Okay.
I did reach out to Berkshire Housing too, I haven't heard back yet, it was just to see if they had any questions about that.
Well,
They run Hyde Place, so.
Yes, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, well, do we have,
Mr. Chair, I'd be bold enough to make a motion that we approve the BRTA's request for relocating and installing a new bus stops at the northbound location in front of the library and the southbound location in front of Hyde Place in accordance with the alternative two. Make that motion.
Well, if you're bold enough to make that motion, then I'm bold enough to second it, Sean. I'm good with that.
We'll see what Berkshire Housing has to say as far as they might have, but I think that this would work. We've already got the stop behind them. I'm sure there'll be.
Yeah, I think the only question was whether there was any ADA access. I
Right.
don't think there is, but just,
And then in the future, we'll probably look into shelter or, you know, we can always add
Yeah.
that down the line.
This would open the opportunity.
Yes, I'd be fine with that.
So we've got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Any concerns from you guys about what we're thinking?
Not right at this point.
Then all those in favor?
Just to clarify, they would be no parking within the bus stop area, correct?
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I have to clarify.
For the whole day, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's,
right.
it's bus stop.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do have a question, and nothing to, when you have a bus stop like that, do you want the space etched off with some diagonal white striping, you know, that kind of a thing? Or do you make it look like parking spaces, but just tell people with the sign, don't go here? How do you
So-
usually do that in other communities?
Yeah, so I mean, it's, true, so we have bus stop signage, which, if it's just installation on the bands around an existing pole, that's an hour activity. Typically, we just let the paint wear away, or black out the parking stall lines.
Okay,
That's it. Yeah.
okay, well, I just wanted to know if it's something we should be working with our DPW about, or if you guys take care of those kind of things. I wasn't sure how that goes forward from here.
It's a mix of a lot of options usually, but we will never say no to the help, but we wouldn't expect you to
Okay,
if you want to.
all right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Here's a fourth copy.
Oh, thanks.
Chris, can you give this to Andrea?
The sign.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. If she ever comes by. Thank you.
Moving on,
Yeah.
we have the building department with a conversation about administrative assistant and the intermunicipal agreement.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna recuse myself from this item of business at this
Okay.
time.
Sure.
Okay?
Mr. Chairman, I did look it over. We made a few adjustments to the final printing of it. And after I went through it and talked to the town administrator about it, Chris Britton, I would make a motion that we sign off on this agreement for shared administrative assistant services for the building department. And just clarification, well, I'll make that motion first.
And I will second it.
Okay, thank you. May I ask?
Please.
So is this also shared planning administrative also, or is it strictly just building? Just
Strictly
so we-
building.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted
And just
to
to
clarify to everybody what we're voting on, just to make sure.
Essentially what happened, and Commissioner, if you need to add anything, feel free, but when we did this, there was, without getting into too many details, we did the IMA for commissioners that did not include administrative assistants, because it was, you know, we predicted there would be some turnover and so forth, and wanted to let that take care of itself first before we added the administrative assistants in there. So now that that's here, this would be for Lee, Lennox, and Great Barrington, and then Stockbridge would join in when they're ready to do so.
Okay.
So,
And I don't know if I need to adjust the motion to say that the chairman should sign, but I don't see why. I mean, there's only one spot to sign, so I think we're cool.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, we've got a motion, we've got a second. I have nothing to add to the conversation, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, Hawker Peddler license application for Charlie's Bistro Bus, LLC.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
My name is Anand, and I'm the owner of the Charlie's Bistro Bus. We just started like 4 months ago in October. And thank you again to this town. They welcome us very well, and we are doing a really great job trying to do something different. Happy to be here.
Okay.
And thank you again to giving me a license so I can do the things around here. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any questions?
I got a few. Why not? Sure, no, thank you very much for coming, of course, with this. So I think right now is, where are you working right now? I thought it was interesting, but where are you set up at this moment in time?
Oh, behind the Burmese wall.
Right, so now that you've said that, that's what I assumed. And then, are you looking to be able to move within the town and like
Yes.
set up at different locations based on special events?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and I think that's a good idea, by the way. I'm just wondering what your thoughts were.
No, we open for that. So somebody from for the rink, somebody
Yes.
reached out to us, and the weather was not in our favor, so we can't.
Yeah, I get it.
So the person reached out to us again, and we said, well, next year we can plan ahead and do something. So yeah, something like that. If something's happening in the town, we love to be there and do something like to make a fun thing around the town.
Well, if you stick around and listen for a few minutes, there may be another event coming up soon. Sure. Yeah, you could reach out and talk to people about, but if you just want to stay.
Yes.
But, so are you also reaching out to other towns in the area so that you can
Yes.
move around? What,
Yeah.
any ones in particular?
So we go to Lennox, we go to Pittsfield, we went to Great Barrington a couple
Great.
times. Then we do like a private events.
Okay.
So if
Very
somebody's
good.
like a birthday party or wedding party, stuff like that, so we just go to the
Okay.
service. Yeah. So it's-
Thank you. That's really about, with all the signatures here, that's about all I had.
Kathy, you have a comment?
Yeah, I have a concern, and I don't know. if I
Can you,
spoke with
Kathy,
you.
can you
Yeah,
come up?
yeah. I don't know if I spoke with you or somebody that worked with you about the noise. Okay, because the generator.
Yes.
Or something is facing the athletic field.
Yes.
We do have children's activities from Southern Berkshire group, but I don't know, you don't usually run it at 10 to 9 o'clock.
Yes,
But
yes.
I'm concerned with later on when we have different events. We also, we don't sponsor, but we have the field signed up for lacrosse games and stuff like that. I'm concerned about the smell. I also talked about if they use peanuts, because you don't know who's, and we
Yeah.
settled on that. We knew they don't use that or whatever. My other concern is, on Founder's Weekend, I can't tell them how to run their business, and neither can you, but publicly, I would ask that for Founder's Weekend, they close down, only because, this is a favor, the Scouts, the Boy Scouts, do their fundraiser there, they're the vendors for the hamburgers and hot dogs, and I don't want them to lose out on, something that's big for them. So I would just ask you to consider that, because I can't tell you how to run your business or
No,
where
it's
to
very
run
fine.
your
Well,
business.
they may actually do better if they move up to the park, or
Yeah.
Yes,
not
if they
necessarily the
work on-
park.
Pick a
'cause you
different
have-
location.
You have the grinders there, but just
Right.
pick it, stay in town, and, you're welcome to be in town, but,
Yeah.
and we understand the issue with the Boy Scouts and
Yeah,
all that, but,
because
there may
they
be
do-
another location
Yeah.
that they could set up.
Yeah,
They had a
because
couple
we-
of food trucks at the,
Yes.
Well,
by
that's
the
what I
post
thought,
office.
yeah, that's what I thought,
And I can give you the information of who you contact for that, for a space. We just had a meeting of the Founders Weekend, and we did talk about the vendors and things like that. So I'm just want to protect one group, but I can't tell somebody else you can't do something, that type of thing. And certainly how the noise is going to be an issue, but we'll work it out. We'll work it out with somebody.
They also have really quiet generators. I know, I'm not speaking for Honda, but I was
No.
actually on some sites in my past work experience where they have some Honda generators, and if it was at the other end of this room, you'd be able to hear us talking. I mean, it's really very low, and I'm sure other brands do the same thing. They have some very low
Yeah.
key
Also,
generators.
a couple pieces of plywood,
Yeah,
that goes
exactly.
a long way to
A-frame.
just like divert the noise
We
from
just
going
spent
back
like
there.
we just bought we spent like $4,000 on that.
Wow.
So it's super
Yeah,
quiet.
so-
You can't even
You
hear.
can't beat
Okay,
it.
well,
That sounds
You're already
wonderful.
taken care of.
So
Yeah.
when we started, at first, we have no idea what power we need.
Yeah,
And
sure.
how it's loud it's gonna be, because we just let's launch this, let's see if we can do it or
Sure.
not. And then, once we start doing things. We find a lot of things. So finally we said, well, spend this money, gonna help us a lot. So
Yeah.
like when you go to Mo's, we have like a fully electric power there.
Yeah, sure.
So we
Got
have
it.
no generator there. When you go to Lennox, we have full power there. So like places people wants to be there, so they give us like they put like a 50 amps outlet for us.
Sure.
So we just go plug in and don't worry about the noise. But again, for the private events, so we said, let's spend some money. So we bought
Sure.
this Predator, which is like super quiet. It sounds like a moped, like running. Like
Yeah.
if you go like 20 feet away, 10 feet away, you can't even hear it.
Good.
So it's just like
You know,
super quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My concern is that they're so close to
get
the
it.
field.
Yep.
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
here's theirs and here's the fence, but it's right near the pavilion,
Yes,
so.
and the summertime, I don't think so we're gonna be there all the time, because we are booked for the entire summer for weddings, stuff like that. We are going to different places. So we're going to Six Persons Company in Lennox.
Okay.
June, July, we booked every evenings. Then we're going to Balderdash, we are mostly booked
Yeah,
there.
that's great.
And we're going to Hot Plate Brewery, and we're gonna be Mo's once a week, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But mostly we are gonna be like all over the
Yes,
place.
that's all right. I know the people in Lee love it there. They
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
there,
that's-
and I
that's
see the
great.
cars all parked there. and,
Yes.
It's wonderful,
Um,
so just my little concern, gotta be protected in the
Yes.
athletic field and the
Yeah, no,
people
we
that are there.
definitely,
Thank you.
just like, this is why we bought a quieter
Yeah,
generator.
thank you.
And in the future, I'm talking to the electricity, to hook up a power, to run the power from Burmese Bowl to the trailer, so but then there's no generator anymore. Because we keep our truck plugged in 24/7 to keep everything
Right.
under the temperature. So that's the next step, once we have a little more money,
Thank
then we
you.
can, because I get the estimate for like another $4,000, I said, I just bought a generator, I can't do that. So
Thank you
hopefully in
so
3
much.
months,
Thank you.
we can do
Thank
that. You're very welcome.
Do we have any further discussion?
Is there a motion on the?
Does no one have a motion yet?
If you're looking for one, I would make a motion that we sign off on the hawker peddler license as submitted and allow the chair to sign.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good, thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we have a one-day Sunday entertainment license application for the Jeff Jam. And we also have, do you want to do these together? You probably could.
Jen and Laurie are online for that.
Yeah, if they'd like to talk to it.
And we also have a one-day wine and malt license application for the Jeff Jam. So Jen and Lori?
They're muted.
Yeah, I think you're both muted if you're there.
Can you hear me?
I was gonna say, it sounds like you already got a party going on. We're in the wrong place.
Sorry, we were at the basketball game.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so we're planning the same thing that we did last year, so we're kind of gonna block off that same roads that Craig blocked off for us last year. And we're gonna have, so far we have 3 bands, and we're gonna sell just some beer and have some food there and maybe some entertainment for the kids. We're not charging again for people to get in, so it's just whatever people buy or donate when they're there.
Great. Okay. And you want to announce the date, or shall we?
Yeah, it's May 26th, Sunday, May 26th.
Right, great. And it looks like your event's from 12 until 5?
Yeah,
Great, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
No, I don't. I'll make a motion. Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the one-day Sunday entertainment license application and the special one-day alcoholic beverage license for the Jeff Jam. Jeff Jam celebration.
I will second that, and with a question, as a follow-up. Is there a fee for these?
The only,
Given that there's, yeah.
just the state $5 fee.
Oh, okay, all right, we can't waive that.
We can't waive the
Okay.
state one, but
No, if it was a
no
town
fee for the town,
Okay,
right?
no, I just want to make sure that we waive
Hunter
it.
has the check.
Yeah, he brought it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure that we were waiving the fee if there was one from the town side. But we can't waive the state fee, so,
Okay.
okay. Thank you. No,
Thank you.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, so a motion, Gordon, you seconded it?
Yes, I did.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Very
Great.
good, you're all set.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yep, we'll see you then.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks.
Next, we have the waiver of the inspection fee for the First Congregational Church.
Mr. Chairman, well, actually, I'm going to recuse myself from this discussion and let you two do it.
Can mute.
Yeah. Oh, you muted us, so,
Mute, oh, mute.
yeah, there you go.
There we go.
We've got a new hybrid method here we're trying out, so
A bunch of old guys trying to figure it out too, so, anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'd make a motion that we waive the inspection fee for the First Congregational Church.
Give me a second.
recusing myself.
Oh, recusing. Then I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Board of Public Works updates,
Mr. Chairman, if I could,
please.
I asked this to be on the agenda, and thank you very much for putting it on. The agenda item is that, and what I wanted people to know is that Bob Bartini has decided to retire from, after like 30 to 35 years as a Board of Public Works member. He was a very active member, chairman for most of those years. His expertise and his historic knowledge and understanding of the town's infrastructure and the processes is definitely going to be greatly missed. And I wanted to be able to speak to that at a meeting instead of just saying, hey, we have an opening. And I wish him well for everything he's going to do in the future and thank him very much for his many years of service. With that being said, I would like to make a motion to have Patrick Rooney become a full-time member, he's now the alternate member, and to take try to take Mr. Bartini's place with all that he's done, and put out the fact that we will now be looking for an alternate member of the Board of Public Works. So that would be my motion.
Second.
I'll echo everything Gordon said about Bob, and we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
What's the current term that Bob's got left?
I'm not sure, did you look it up?
Till 25, right?
Yeah.
One more,
Right.
so
No,
one
he's got
more year
one
from
year.
20, yeah, from July,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and again, no.
And thanks, Bob, for all of his service, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very active and always on top of things, knew what was happening, so.
So we have a motion and a second. And is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And thanks again, Bob.
And moving on, now we have a little fun item. We've got the 2024 Road Toll Lottery. This is, anybody who goes through Lee during the fair weather season knows that you're gonna hit a toll now and again. Usually nonprofits asking for some sort of donation or support. There are certain organizations like the vets that automatically get a slot, but then there are slots available. I think 5 are there. Is that right?
Yes, we had 2 dates that spilled over from last year, so what's happened is if we didn't get in the drawing last year, you automatically got in this year.
Right.
So those were 2, plus the VFW has Memorial Day.
Right.
So that leaves 5 dates available for this year, and we actually had 15 applicants. So that will mean we'll have 5 this year.
It's a competitive.
We'll draw the next
That's
7
right.
for next year, and we won't have to do this next year, right? Oh, okay, sorry, the other 7 will be in for next year automatically,
Okay.
right?
And then there's a couple for 2026, right?
Yes.
Okay, so.
You got them all right there written down?
I've got them all right here,
All right.
so they can make sure, well, they'll be certain they were included. We've got the lead lady.
These were drawn by someone.
No, we're drawing them right now.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. I
we're drawing them now.
thought, I thought they were pre-drawn.
You're
I
just
apologize.
you're just reading the applicants, the
Gotcha.
people that have
I
submitted.
apologize for
So
the
part of this lot, these are all part of the lottery. We have the Lee Lady Wildcats the lacrosse team, Lee High School softball booster club, the Lee Lions, the Lee Middle and High School bands, the Sons and Daughters of Italy, the Lee Middle and High School class of 2027, Lee High School student government, the LYA, the Lee Youth Association, Lee Elementary School PTO, Lee High School volleyball, HRI, the Housatonic River Initiative, Knights of Columbus, Lee High School boys baseball, Lee Middle and High School golf, and Lee High School boys basketball boost club. Okay. Let me shake this up. Everything. Kathy, you want to come up and hold some of these?
I can't believe you didn't get involved somehow on this, but I suppose you should.
We have to ask.
have the school song.
I know, well,
We have
close
to-
your eyes and pick.
We have to ask you to take your glasses off. We're going to duct tape your eyes.
I can't see it.
Good idea.
Okay. All
Here,
right.
look the other way and grab something in
All
there.
right.
I got 3 in my hand.
That's okay, take 3, whatever. You know, we
Okay,
gotta draw more than one anyway.
And another? And another?
Gonna make you do something.
I hope there's a wildcat in here.
Well, we'll see.
And 2 more. One and one more. Okay. Thank you so
Excellent.
much. Thank you, Catherine.
Now they'll all call you, they can get picked. Jonathan, not us.
All right, and the winners are the Lee Lady Wildcats lacrosse team, the Lee High School boys baseball, the Sons and Daughters of Italy, the Lee Middle and High School bands, and the Knights of Columbus.
Very good.
Here we go.
Okay,
Could you pass these through?
absolutely.
Thank you.
And so for this event, typically, these organizations will collect donations and they usually give the
Some-
donators a token of appreciation, some sort of fob or whatever you want to call it, trinket.
Yep.
Just a clarification on the ones that are in there still, we'll follow up with them next year and they'll, yeah, all of those.
Semi-automatic.
If they're still interested, we'll pull 7 of whatever, the 10 that are left, right?
So now it's based on when they applied, so it's.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
First come, first serve for next year.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for everybody for their interest and good luck raising money.
Absolutely. Moving on, any topic the chairman could not reasonably anticipate. Gordon, you have something?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I do. This week, I know Sabrina gave us some handouts, a communication from the 8th grade classes at Lee Middle School, high school, with some suggestions of what they think the town might want to consider doing and what we could support and whatnot. And I thought in response to that it might be nice if one of us or all of us at a posted meeting were to meet with the class and discuss their ideas and explain, the situation of how maybe we could move forward some of the ideas and how, and explain why some of the ideas are a little bit hard to just snap our fingers and do, but talk about the process of, okay, what is the process for having something like this happen? I'm more than happy to do that, but I think we should respond to them in respect to the fact that they are taking a civics class and they're learning about government. And I just thought it would be a nice thing to do. I'm more than happy to do it alone, but I'm also very glad to meet as a whole board.
I think that would be
In front of
great.
it. I think it would be
Yeah.
kind of fun to post a meeting and coordinate it through the teacher up there and their time, whatever their time frame is for their class. So that was just a suggestion I was bringing forward.
No, I think that's a great idea. Might also strike fear in their hearts, and they say, these are the
Might.
dumb leaders.
Doubt it. These are eighth graders. I don't know if they're afraid of much anymore. They're at the top of their class, ready to go into ninth grade. So
Right, right.
if I remember right, they're
I think that's a great idea. Can we reach out to them?
Yeah, if the board would like,
That's
I'm
okay
happy
with
to
you?
coordinate
Absolutely.
something, I'm assuming during their class time.
I mean, I'm willing to try,
Yeah,
and
let's
Sean,
figure out what,
we'll work with you.
yeah, let's figure out when their class meets, and that would be the most opportune time, I think, and then,
Sure.
we'll work out what's the best day to
Yeah.
tell them.
I just think it would be good for them to also see that somebody's actually reading and listening to
Might-
them and talking to
I
them.
might even, we might even want to go a step further and make it a yearly thing.
I'd love to. I mean, I think it's very
Here's a
interesting.
yearly, there you have a civics class, we come in, here's the town leadership. Might not.
Good idea. Yeah, I think that's great. So,
We'll get it set
I'm all
up.
for it.
Great.
I think we have a comment.
Kathy, you come up to the,
And maybe include a student government.
Sure, yep.
Not just that class, but student government, because that's their purview of being committed to the community.
great idea, thank you.
I just have one thing I want to mention. Master plan met last week, and we did finish,
Good.
or at least have taken the steps to, create the full document and the first draft, and now the next step is to hold a hearing, in which April 6th is a Saturday. That's when we are planning to have that hearing, for the public to have their input. The document will be posted on the website. We'll have copies at Town Hall, a couple other locations around town, so just wanted to mention that. And
What day of the week would that be, Chris?
April 6th is a Saturday.
Saturday. Thank you.
Saturday, 1 o'clock. So
1 o'clock.
if you can't make that, there's plenty of opportunity to comment through I'm gonna work with Chris to set up something similar like we've done in the past, where we post something on the town website, you click a link, and then you can comment and kind of submit that right to either a spreadsheet or the BRPC staff.
Do you think that'll be also virtual too, or is it strictly in, I don't know if you've gone that far in talking about it?
The actual meeting,
Yeah.
we're gonna reach out to CTSB so
Great.
that it'll be on film,
Good.
live. We didn't, I don't know if that's gonna work logistically. I'll think about that as well.
We haven't had a great solution
Yeah.
for a hybrid meeting in that large of a space. It's at the auditorium.
Well, and I mean, as long as it's being recorded with CTSB,
Yeah.
if they agree to that, that at least people can go and to the their
Sure.
website and get it. So
Yeah.
that's close enough for me to think that at least it's available to people if they're interested in listening and hearing something. No, this is great that we're winding it down a little bit.
Year and a half later.
Hey, this is not an easy process. You guys have had a lot of meetings and done some hard work. I've listened to a few, and a lot of discussion going on. I think
Thank you and
that's really
the
good.
entire committee. Okay,
Oh, we have another hand up. Who could it be? Oh, Kathy.
I wanted to stay home today. This question's for Chris because it's about the CPA. We have a meeting on the 20th.
Correct,
We're
yes.
supposed to meet 5:30, and then at 6 o'clock, is that a public meeting?
There's, well, they're all public meetings, but it's the annual hearing at 6, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
if we have nothing else, we'll have the town administrator report.
So I had a few updates on some grants, so some good news that our 40R density bonus payment was approved, so that will be $168,000 for the Smart Growth Overlay District in Eagle Mill. That's the first of 2 bonus payments. We should get another one slightly larger than that when phase 2 of that happens. But that's approved and is slated to go into, it needs to be used for infrastructure, and that will be part of our paving plan for FY '25. So we also did get the Mass DEP Technical Assistance Grant, which will help fund our consultant for the PCBs in the Housatonic River. So that's good news there. And then we are wrapping up the ARPA money federal grant in 2025. We've got, we weren't really, appropriating any additional money, but we have a couple things that may be a little cheaper than what was expected, 1 or 2 projects that, that we still haven't, that were done through some nonprofits, et cetera, that may not need the money. So unless there's any objections from the board, the remainder I was going to put towards the matching funds for our downtown grant for our street lighting. So
How much is that?
So, well, we don't know exactly yet. It would be, the maximum it would be is 50,000. We're waiting on a couple projects that have to wrap up, so.
Okay. All right.
But out of the 1.6 million, give or take. So
Okay. Okay, thank you.
we do have to match at least 54,000, so there will be stuff on the warrant as well to supplement that. So, and that's gonna be redoing all of the lights on Main Street, all new fixtures at the top, smart LED controls. The plan is also to have Wi-Fi and some audio features that would be from the park to about St. Mary's Church in this first phase, so.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. You have anything else?
Oh, yes, and one other update. So I think 2 meetings ago, we talked about the mural, the 50 and 50 mural project. I'm happy to report that the Chamber of Commerce is going to sponsor that, and we did get permission to do it on 57 Main Street. So it would be the wall of the building next to Meow, or the building that Meow and Growl is in that side of it, on where Railroad Street goes down, so on that brick.
Todd Slotty Way.
Right, yep.
Yes. Great, good.
great.
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be 1 in 50 in the country. I mean, maybe it'll draw a few people who wanna say they saw them all.
And it's scheduled right now, 3rd week of July to be installed, and the Chamber's planning some events around that, so.
And do they get to pick what exactly how much input do they have on what the mural will show?
So we're gonna get, if the board has any suggestions, send them my way. We can make any suggestions, but we're gonna get 3 different concepts that we'll show to you guys for input, the Berkshire Housing who owns 57 Main Street and the Chamber, so.
Okay, thank you.
Great,
Sounds good.
sounds good. We have no.
Oh, I do have one more, sorry. I also did hear from the EPA, so the latest, I should say, PCB, UDF, well, they call it the final plan design, although it's still open for public comment, so it's probably not the final, it's the final draft. But that just came out. I think it's about 1,600 pages. There is a copy on your desks for you if you need any light reading. It's posted online now as well. That is going to be, there's going to be a comment period. They haven't given me an exact date, but it's most likely going to be about a 3-month comment period. They did offer that if the board was interested, and we can put this on next week's agenda, to do another public meeting similar to what we did for the transportation plan, that EPA was willing to try to set that up. Thinking something at the high school probably in April. So, if the board is interested, we'll put it on. I just got it from someone. We'll put it on the next agenda.
Yeah, we talked about, I would like to see a public meeting at the school.
Yeah.
And give people the opportunity to weigh in. And also if people are looking for any light reading, they can show up at the select board office and go through the, I thought we should bring them down here so that people could see what we're expected to.
Yeah, I would
to
be
read
interested.
through.
Next week.
Next
Or
week.
next meeting.
Yeah.
We'll just have it in front here.
Yeah.
So people can see what we're getting to look at. And would this go to Kleinfelder for their review and comments also?
Right,
Is that
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the paper copy, which is about that thick, is available at Town Hall for anyone who wants to see it. It is available online as well, so.
So my first thought is, well, I'll start looking at some of it anyway, and see how it's broken down, what chapters there are. But I think that to schedule, I do agree that we should have a public meeting, but I also wonder if we should make sure that we time it so that at least we have comments back from Kleinfelder a little bit to get people to understand a little what's happening. If it's timely, I don't know if it would be timely, how long Kleinfelder's gonna need to look at some of this stuff so we can have an idea to present to the public.
I have a meeting to touch base on that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll have,
Oh, great.
if we're good, we'll post this next week I should be able to hopefully have some info from Kleinfelder on their availability and from the EPA on what their availability is for dates, and then we can
Yeah, I think that's a good move to have it on.
act on that on
Yes.
it would be the 17th, so. I think
Great.
Can we just ask them to tell us the parts they don't want us to find?
It'll be quicker.
It'll be a lot faster.
It's the 19th is our next meeting, right? Not the 17th?
Yes, we have,
17th is Sunday.
Sorry, 19th, yeah.
yeah, our next regular meeting, March 19th, same time, same place. If we have no other further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.